Hey folks, so today's job is with this, just about to see there, 026 Stihl chainsaw. Got a exhaust system to put on it. It's a new Chinesian part. New band for the chain brake there to go on the clutch drum, and fuel caps. So these are all aftermarket parts, apart from the clutch band here. So I have cleaned the entire saw, stripped every single part down, and as you can see, it's quite clean. So I've been, as I've been putting it back together, I've been cleaning the parts, fitting them. So yeah, let's get these bits on and. See if we can get this right first time. Quite a fiddly piece. It's, may take a few tries. Put the spring the wrong side. This big spring goes over the top, not behind. See if we can get this out without causing too much destruction. Right, that looks about right. Got a little circlip goes here. Let's get that on. Now this big spring can go on. Go up the top, over the top. And this could be quite tricky to get the spring over this bracket. Popped off the top. There we go. So looks good and works well. Next is the cover. Cleaned all this up. This saw was completely caked. It was actually the worst I've ever seen. It was that caked behind the clutch here, where the oil pump is, that you couldn't turn the engine over. It felt like it was seized, but it wasn't. It was just the just all the build-up of crap behind there. Next is your little needle bearing and your clutch drum with your spare on. The chain ones are there. So a lot of people don't do this, and this is why they fail. These need to be greased up quite regularly. And still make a grease for this, but any type of I think it's lithium or any silicon type based grease will be good. Now there's a little notch in these, and that goes onto the arm coming off your oil pump, so you need to line them up. This one's right at the top here. There's actually a little mark, so you can show you there, to where the thing is. If you look down, you can actually, when you're doing the saw, you can, and if they aren't located, they won't go down as easy. You'd have to force it down. Now it's just the washer and the C-clip here. I've heard some people call these E-clips because of the little tab sticking out. I've not really read too much into it to see what the proper name is. I've always called them C-clips. So. But they on saws they do wear out. You can just about see. You just about see the wear marks. When they start wearing, you get a lot of play in them. So it's always nice to get a few more in stock. This one's not too bad. It's got some wear marks, but it'll do. Works well. Good thing to always check for when you've got your siding chainsaw off is, especially when you take your clutch off, check for end play in here. So if you wiggle your shaft up, down, left, right, if there's any play, then you've got play in your bottom end bearings. And once the seals go, it starts sucking air in, and you will start to lose power till eventually the cut out. Next part to go on is this fuel pipe, and somebody put this one on, and I thought it was the original one, but this is too short, so when the actual filter was in there it reached about halfway down the tank, and I've ordered one off eBay aftermarket, and you see it's a lot longer. Compare the two. Hope this is the right one. I've got it in, I've got to try and rotate it. So it sits right in the tank. I've gone a bit too far. So it's out the tank there. So it's got enough plate to fall both ways. So if you saw that side, it's got enough pipe to fall that side of the tank, and the same with tipping it the opposite way. It was hard to get in, and I might double check, just make sure that's the right part. So next to go on is carb. Give it a quick clean off. Yeah. That looks right. This pipe's rather big though. I don't know if that's just because it's an aftermarket part or what really. Now this next part's quite fiddly. Try and get this throttle linkage to the throttle on the carb and into this trigger here. tricky doing this throttle linkage. You can, as you put the carb in, you can put this in at the same time. Then it clicks into the your throttle here, your finger lever. Throughout everything else on these parts just seem to fly off. For a moment there I thought this part went over the top of that one, but yeah, you switch for turn off and choke, and then you've got this safety lever that goes on top of the handle, detects whether your hand's there so it doesn't rev up. You can't throttle up if you're not holding onto the handle basically. It, and then this spring hooks into the back of this. It's quite a fiddly piece. You try hold all this while you put the top cover on. I think we got it. Then there's just one screw at the bottom to hold this handle in place. That's the trig assembly done. That's the screw down there. Get a bit of light on it. That holds this piece in, and it just it slots into here, hooks round, then lowers down. So you must put this end in first and then lever it down while trying to hold all the bits underneath. Do the fuel filter next. So you can get your fingers in there, grab it, or use long nose pliers. Just be careful of not ripping your pipe, doing too much damage to it. The pipes are quite stretchy, so you can really and then just push your filter onto the end and push her in. Getting like that. That's it. Hey, carbs in. You got two nuts that hold it in place. 5/16. And then them nuts, they sit in a recess on the inner air filter. And the outer air filter goes on. And screws up. So that bit done. Get these aftermarket caps on. Now to the exhaust, it comes with a new compression, I think it's aluminium gasket, and 4 new fixing screws. That's the gasket. And then the 2 fittings down the end there. Tighten them up, and then the outer piece goes on then. The only thing I'm concerned about this aftermarket part is the the outlet here where the exhaust gases come out. It's quite small. If it loses power, we might have to make them bigger. So it's the top fits them first. It's got a slight like bent over at the top, so it catches this top off, and then it's a tight fit and then the 2 other screws go in then to hold it in place, and they screw straight into the body. He says. Bottom one's slightly out of alignment, so you'll have to take this off and so you can loosen the bolts going into the cylinder there, so you can line it up a bit better. It's a little better. Any problem with aftermarket parts, they don't always fit well. There's always a bit of DIY to get the part to fit right. That's the exhaust done. Get this pull start. I've cleaned it all up. It's thick in here, so it all gets stuck on the flywheel here. Blocks all the fins and blocks all the fins on the cylinder, and then it doesn't cool very well. Missing one screw that goes here. It's a special screw. It's got a more like a bush, so it's raised, and then a flat top to it, so it keeps this in place, but still allows it to move. I'll have to order one of those. Got the spare screw. I'll put that there for now until I order the new one. Let's pull cord on. And top cover can go on now. Top cover's held on by this one screw at the top. Screws straight into on the top of the head here. To unplug the spark plug cap first, put it on, and then the spark plug cap fits up to it and the seals it with the rubber boot of it. Looks good. On this lip here, there's 2 locating dowels. Just make sure they're clicked in as well. Next to go is we've got this chain catcher. Goes at the bottom here, and then it screws into the anti-vibration mount. And it's just got a it's shaped so it fits in the mount. So we can't really get it wrong until it goes in one way. This plate to go on here. Top away, and then it's held in place with one little flathead screw. Next piece I need to put on is this spikes when you're felling a tree. Dig into the wood and allow you to put a lot more pressure on, and yeah, I took this off when I was cleaning the saw, so let's put it on and back on in video. This video is mainly about the chain brake and the exhaust system being installed, and the fuel caps there, and the fuel pipe. They're the parts you need. Might as well rebuild it together. Just got to order a bar and chain for this, and then we can give it a good test and cut some wood. Picked a load of timber up yesterday, so I've got plenty to go at. So the bottom screw screws straight into the cast casing of the chainsaw. The top one's got a nut on the back side. Well, that won't work. Spanner stuck. I'll have to use the open end side. spikes on. So next I got this back cover to go on. I just need to rebuild it as I've cleaned it. This piece needs to go back in here. You remove this piece and this piece in there, so we can get a bit closer. Where that screw is there. And that circulates hot air from the engine into the carb, straight into the where the air cleaner is. So if it's in a cold climate, it makes it run better. We don't need that over here in England. You have to keep them shut over here. Set back on. Back cover's a bit beat up, but it is a 1996 saw, so got a bit of age to it. Now it's just got the top handle going, and then we'll put every single screw on this chainsaw. I've had to dig the heads out and clean out, because when I stripped it down they were jam packed full of chain oil and bits of dirt, sawdust, and when you come to work on them, the tool doesn't go all the way into the screw, and you end up stripping it out easier, or knackering the tips on your steel tool, your hex drive here. So it's always a good idea if you're going to strip your saw down, just clean the screw out with your little flathead. Nice, cleaned up. So that's this 026 back together, new parts fitted. Just got to get a bar and chain for it, wait for that to come, and then I'll do a video about setting the high and low on the carburetor, and cut some wood and see how she performs. The next saw I've got to do is this Husky. Say a 236. Get that running, get a bar and chain for that, give that a full clean, and then the next two will be this 028 AB Super, and then this 262 XB Husqvarna. This runs the Husky. But the key on the flywheel is sheared, so if you just put it in place, tighten it up, it's alright for a bit, but as soon as it moves slightly, that's when the timing goes out and she starts to backfire and No, spark goes at the wrong time. The timing's out on the ignition. So just got to order a flywheel for that one, and that'll be good to go then. So yep, cheers for watching, and hope this helps anybody who's fitting these parts to the saws. And see you next time.